Hi everyone, welcome to the 420 Smoke Room. Today our guest is Desirae Monrow. Hi, how are you, Desirae?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, just rolling me a pretty blunt. I kind of want to talk about your platforms and what it is you do for a living. Let's kind of start there because I know you got a lot of platforms, you got a lot going on. Your hands are tied into what seems like a lot of projects. So I'm going to let you lead on how you want to tell the audience a little bit about that.
All right. Well, I am Desirae Monroe. I am CEO and creator of Whose Word Is This LLC, which started out as a podcast in 2017.
Okay.
So I've had that podcast since 2017. In 2020, was it 2020? Yes, 2020. In 2020, I decided that I was going to expand and start my own platform. Because I had been on so many other platforms. I had been on Swag Radio. I've been on 7 Mile Radio. I've been on 88.1 FM. I've been on One Media World Entertainment. I've been in so many platforms that I felt that it was time for me to start my own platform.
Right. Start rising, instead of doing things for others, doing them for myself.
Right. And also, seeing where I felt that those other platforms were lacking at, that I can probably excel and.
Right. I mean, plus when it's not your own
back.
platform, you don't have like full control over your ideals and your creation. Like, I want to do this, and they're like, no, that's not a good idea, but really, it's probably the best decision.
Yeah.
Having that creative space, sometimes it lacks when we don't have our own ownership.
Right, and then I wanted to get off into creating my own content because before I started Whose Word Is This, I own a publishing company with my family, with my mother and my sisters, which we have 2 books on Amazon, unauthorized communication and crude affiliation.
Okay.
So
what are those a little bit about?
Well, crude affiliation, that's the first book. That is about a mother growing up in Detroit, a single mother growing up in Detroit with 5 sons.
Okay, that sounds like it would be a good little story because I know how hard it is being from Michigan myself, how hard it is to raise 5 boys, let alone in Detroit. And single.
Right. So it's showing like their childhood, them growing up, and then all their different roles each son took. Oh. And then that spills off into the second book, Unauthorized Communication. I don't want to give out too much because I want people to go and
definitely. So you said they can find it on Amazon, correct?
Yep, they can find it on Amazon.
So definitely check them books out.
And Unauthorized Communication by L.L. Marie. That's our assumed name when we write books.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to start to create content. I had been in a couple of different projects. I had been in episode 1 of Flock of Town. I had been in a cameo appearance in KC and Squirt by Antonio Hall. I did my first starring role was in Motown by Power Movement Productions. That's currently on YouTube. That got about 250K views.
Yes, I was checking that out actually after you sent me to it. You guys definitely go check out these movies that she's been in. When she sent me all the links to these, which I will include in the bio for people who are interested. They're really good actually. They're really good films. The productions are great. It seems like that there was a good amount of time, energy, effort, and finances put into these productions.
Yeah. So after being in so many different productions and stuff, and knowing that I write and I got a creative mind, that's what made me just say I'm going to start my own platform. I'm going to start this TV channel, and go out on faith.
So let's talk about that TV channel. And the name of that again is?
Well, I'm going through a relaunch right now. But it was originally called Whose Word TV. It was on Roku and Apple TV. I'm going to relaunch it this year in July. And it's going to be Whose Word Is This Network.
I'm excited about that because I do have Roku TV, so I could definitely be part of the people that watch the audience.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you what you launch with and what airs.
Yeah, I got a couple of shows that I'm working on. I have the 20 Reviews podcast that currently airs on YouTube Live and Facebook Live every Tuesday. But I'm also going to bring that over to the channel. I have a local gossip podcast called Catch Up News. To tell you what's going on in the city, what's going on in Metro Detroit, upcoming events, concerts, movie premieres, up and coming artists, new music coming out.
I like that. And that's something you do yourself, or is that something that airs on your platforms?
These are all shows that I produce.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. So,
yeah.
And what's the name of that again?
I'm sorry?
What is the name of that one again? That
Catch
podcast?
Up News.
Catch Up News.
Yeah,
Okay.
KATCHUP. Catch Up News. We're filming episodes of that right now with my host, Teflon Cuts. The Young Review. We're about to start filming the Young Review. And I'm going to have 5 young adults hosting that. And we're going to talk about issues that teenagers and young adults go through that we might not realize, or their take on current events. And
that's important too, because of the mental health right now of the young generation, and making sure that their views and understanding and perspectives is important.
Right, because it might just be a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't understand what they're going through, or they're not explaining it to us right. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe we need to hear that it's not an isolated event, that other people are going through it. You know, I just feel like it's a good therapy and a good outlet, and it also will give the kids something to do, because I'm also going to have live performances on the show. I'm going to have a live audience with youth, you know, so they have somewhere to go each week, and I'm going to film it live.
I like that.
Well, no, I'm probably not going to film it live, but I'm going to film it and air it on the channel.
Okay. Yeah, doing live is hard work, especially with children, because you never know what it is they're gonna say.
Yeah.
No
but
filter.
Let me take that back. I might not do that live.
Yeah, but it does sound very well and interesting. It sounds like a good thing for the community. A lot of times, like you said, it's just a discommunication or not being able to know how to communicate, because as parents, we often are so used into the realm of waking up, taking the kids to school, going to work, coming home, cooking and cleaning and getting them back ready for bed, that sometimes we just don't stay in tuned, or we don't stay connected with them the way as they're growing, and teaching them how to properly communicate what it is they're dealing with or going through, or even feeling comfortable sometimes enough, because we're all dealing with stuff at times, and sometimes our children feel like they don't want to burden us, with things, or I don't even want to tell them about that because I don't know how they gonna act. So just learning how to open up and communicate for these teenagers, that is going to be a really interesting and good podcast show that the community, I think, would be able to definitely use and get a lot of value out of.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. It's hard work, but I love it.
It seems like it's your calling. You got your hands on all these things, and you're still keeping up with the flow and continuing to come up with new, inventive, creative ideas and implementing them across the map on your different platforms.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm trying to start a new lane. I'm also working on a up and coming showcase called the Just Blaze Showcase.
Ooh, Just Blaze. Now I can kind of guess what that's about.
Yeah. So the Just Blaze, that would include your entry fee and a 1.7 with the ticket price. We of course have vendors on deck with edibles and food, THC dinners and things like that. We're also going to have live performances and stuff. But it's really just a real laid back, just blaze and listen to some good music and eat some good food type of vibe.
I like it. So kind of like a sesh with a dinner, and over that dinner or sesh, what would take place? And
What you mean?
Like, is it? You said it's like is it an event? Is it a show? I'm a little confused on what the Blaze.
It's a Just Blaze showcase. So I'm gonna have performers.
Oh, a showcase.
I have
Okay, so
about
a live performance, and we get to smoke and eat
yeah
at the
live
same time.
performances. Sit back, eat. Um, we're gonna have hookahs there. You know, hookahs on the table.
Okay, and when is this?
Um, we gotta push it back, so I haven't got a date yet. We
Okay.
were gonna do it the week after Thanksgiving, Valentine's. But you know, some real life stuff has come up with my partner, so
No, and I
we're gonna
understand how
push it
that
back.
is. I
Yeah,
definitely do. And sometimes the venue just has to wait a little longer because things do arise. And when you're financially coming out of your pocket and your time and your energy for these, you have to sometimes just set it all aside to handle business,
yeah.
your personal business, but just,
Real life happens, right? Real
right.
life happens, you
It
know.
definitely
So
does.
I'm an understanding partner. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, I am
it,
excited that when you do get a launch date, I definitely would love to spread the word for you and maybe even attend because I am here in Michigan. So that isn't too far from where I'm at.
okay, okay. I definitely keep you posted.
Yes, because I'm always loving a good stoner event, especially because nowadays it's hard for consumers that consume cannabis that want to go to, like, I want to go to the movies, but I can't obviously smoke while I'm watching the movie, so I'd rather Netflix and chill than versus going out to the theater because I can't consume my cannabis while I'm at the event. So being able to be at an event that you can consume, good food and content and be in front of live music and live anything, while you're smoking. That's awesome. You don't get that too often here in Detroit, Michigan. It's it,
Yes, so I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, me
I'm just trying
too.
to trying to just be. I don't want to follow the same wave that everybody else is doing. I'm trying to create my own way, create my own lane. I'm just trying to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with acting and producing and into the movie career? Like what was it that started it for you?
Honestly, it was all like a mistake, really.
Sometimes that's how we stumble across our best callings is
Yeah,
just by
it really
participating in something
was.
we
But
didn't even intend to do. But
yeah,
somehow
I
here we
had
are.
no intent on being an actress or anything. And my homeboy one time was like, um, the lady in the scene. He was like, "It's just a little cameo scene. You got to say 3 words. We need somebody. That's all you got to do." You know. But he talked me into it, and that was Flocker Town episode 1. I'm Detective 1. Um, and that's kind of like what got started to itch my you know making me want to see, okay, maybe I like this. I don't know. I might like this. And then someone else, Antonio Hall, I had interviewed him on my podcast, Whose Word Is This? And after the podcast, he asked me, did I want to do a cameo appearance in his movie, Casey and Squirt? And I agreed. And I was like, okay, I think I like this. I like being different people. I like bringing other people's visions to life.
Yeah, they putting on that persona.
Right. And then I did a couple of modeling gigs, and Rock Hall had reached out to me of Power Movement Productions,
Okay.
and invited me down to an audition. And that's how I got hooked up with him doing um, Motown and The Good Before the Bad.
All right. And what was that a little bit about?
Well, Motown was about um, a Detroit female who went to prison over an accident. She accidentally was texting and driving and accidentally killed well, didn't kill him, but she hurt him severely, made him
Okay.
paralyzed, little boy. And she ended up getting some prison time, going to jail, and then she had to come home and learn how to live again.
Right, reintegrate
And
into society.
yeah. And she got back into singing and things like that and got into the industry. And a couple of things happened. A friend committed suicide, and she went through some trials and tribulations with her mother, which is me. I'm the mother.
Oh, okay. And that's your role?
Yeah, I'm her mother. I'm her mother.
Okay.
The one she was on the phone arguing with when she hit the little boy.
Oh.
But
that does sound like a good movie, honestly, because like you never really know how it's gonna all turn out or unfold, and just hearing already how it's turning out, like just her going to prison, injuring the child, and getting out and trying to figure things out, getting over the trials and tribulations with the mom. It seems like a good little show. Yeah. And where does that air at?
That's on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Just type in Motown Power Movement Productions, and it'll pop right up. I think we're at like 250 views right now.
Yeah, I was looking at that one as well. That was one of the links you sent me. I started checking them all out, and they seemed really good. I was getting into them, but then I had to leave. But I want to get back to watching them and pick up where I left off at.
Yep, and then the Good Before the Bad is actually a domestic violence movie. Just, about, but it's through the kids' eyes, though. It's the kids living through their mother going through domestic violence.
Ooh, that's a good perspective.
Yeah. And I actually got my son. That's my son's first role. He's the son in there, and my niece is the daughter.
Okay.
So that one was full of family and friends acting in that one. But that one's a pretty good one, too. So it got a little plot twist. I don't want to tell you what it happens at the end.
Right. Got to keep us on suspense.
Right. But yeah, that one's about domestic violence through the kids' eyes.
All right. I like it. I definitely will be checking more of them out, and I will include a link for anybody who's interested in following in the bio. So wherever they're listening, they can still see the link and check it on out. So at this point, how did you yourself get involved in cannabis, or have you used cannabis for any recreational or medical use?
Well, honestly, I've been smoking marijuana since I was about 15 years old. All my life. But it's strictly for recreational. I'm not going to lie and say I'm doing it because my hip hurt. No, I do it because I like it.
I feel you. I feel you. So, I mean, it kind of started that way a little bit when I was younger. I smoked and dabbled and dabbled just for like I like it use. And then as I got older, I had quit, and then I went back. And when I went back, it was more for medical use at that point. Because when I was using it for partying, I really wasn't as sick or didn't have the disease or need for the cannabis. But I did realize overall, like, that I would find myself, like, when I'm stressed or when I can't sleep, craving and urging a blunt to fulfill those needs, not just always to get high, with before it was even mentioned as, like, a medical purpose, you know?
Definitely understand.
Yeah.
Lately, though, I've kind of back from the blunts. I really haven't been smoking blunts or rolling up weed. I've got addicted to the pens.
Okay, so carts.
Yeah. So I've been very heavy on the THC pens. I like those better because I see that I tend to smoke less, but I get just as high.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I kind of feel the same way. Do you feel any difference when you're, like, between your body high or hair high, between the two, or do you feel like they give you the same high?
No, I actually like the pen high better because I feel like when I just smoke the blunt, then I'm more sedated and more lazy when I smoke just the weed rolled up in a blunt. But I feel like with the vape, I get to enjoy the high, but I don't lose my energy.
Okay, so you don't lose no energy. So does it give you energy? Is it more like an upper for you or a downer?
It's an upper for me.
Okay.
I feel like my pens are uppers for me, and when I smoke the weed in the blunt, it's a downer.
Okay. I mean, it does affect everybody differently. Are you smoking like indica or sativa or hybrid of the pens? Do you know?
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Hold on. I don't be knowing offhand after all of these years. So right now I have one cartridge that is a Dream Kush. Um, I don't know. It just says it's 81.8% THC and 10% CBD. Now, this is what I always wanted to know. What is CBD?
CBD is the cannabinoids basically, but it's not with the THC. But THC or CBD has more of a medical purpose for it. It helps your receptors more than just regular THC. But CBD doesn't give you the high part. It gives you more of the medical. So a lot of products have that are CBD say like it contains 3% or less, or 3% or more. Anything over 3% is considered like in the marijuana, class department. So the pen you have has 10%, which is probably why it has such an upper with it, because it's mixed with CBD and THC, and it has a high content of CBD, which is 10%, which is, obviously 3 times the amount of the normal CBD product. It's actually 3.1 times the percent almost. But that's what helps your body and your medical. So a lot of times, like, after like a hard day, that feeling on your body where you just feel weighed down, like something's heavy on your shoulder, and then after you smoke, like you feel like, oh, I have this full of energy and my body feels lifted and rejuvenated type of thing.
Yeah.
That's where your CBD and your THC is affecting together, is helping you, and a lot of it is CBD that's helping you with the THC, but the CBD content being 10 is by far the greater than our normal, like over-the-counter gummies at gas stations only have 3% THC or less. It doesn't even say like the exact, it says or less. So it's like the highest is 3 normally. And when you get higher, that's definitely like a medical grade of CBD. So that's a good version a pen you have. It doesn't say if it's indica or sativa or hybrid, which I don't really know, if which particular, like if Dream is, if it's indica or sativa. But a lot of times indica or sativa can have, the opposite effect. One's couch lock and one gives you energy. So sometimes it could just be the strand of weed you're smoking, or the consumer that, like if you're buying from someone who has like a personal grow and they personally grow just indica, or they just grow sativa, you're always going to be purchasing just that one kind from them. So sometimes I personally like to switch up who I'm buying, like getting my weed from, or what dispensary or what store or what shelf, so I can mix and get hybrids or indica, sativa, and mix. And then like I feel like a hybrid is a mixture of in between. So I'm kind of laid back, but I got a little bit of energy to go do what I need. I feel like for me, indica helps me get up and get into some shit. And sativa, I'm more like that whole zoned, laid out, hippie type of thing. So it does affect people differently, but it just really depends on what type of cannabis you have, depends on your goal. So a lot of times, like when you go to dispensaries, they'll ask you, the number one question people will say is just give me your best weed, but your best weed isn't for everybody. Like you need to know, what is your goal? Are you trying to get up off the couch? Are you trying to stay into the couch? Are you trying to become part of the couch? Like, what's your goal here? And then that would determine what weed is best for you, So for you, I would definitely look into different types of cannabis, because whatever strand you're smoking is just giving you that laziness, and you probably have to go to the opposite. If it's like indica or sativa, go to the opposite.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, but everybody's body is affected a little bit different by their receivers, because our body has like natural receivers, and receptors. So, God's intended cannabis to somehow be in our body, because there's literally receivers. There's not opiate receivers. There's not heroin receivers. There's not no receivers for crack or cocaine. Like, there's just literally receivers for CBD and THC. And in order to have like a receiver, it means that your body is set up to receive it.
Okay.
So like that's how we're able to break it down. That's how it literally is used as a medical form. Without those receivers and receptors, cannabis wouldn't help us medically in any way, shape, or form. It would be the same as nicotine.
Well, I appreciate my cannabis.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that God put those receptors in there. He intercepted that shit for real. But it definitely helps me, because I have so many medical problems for me. Like, I wouldn't be able to live through life without it. Like, it replaced a duffel bag of medication. That's how severe I used to be on meds versus cannabis, and that's it now. Not a single pill a day.
That's amazing.
Yes, it does have good factors for medical use.
Oh no, I believe it. Like I have this THC lotion and bath salts, and I can just tell in the oil when I rub it on my body and my skin versus regular oil or regular bath salts. It's almost
medicated. It is a medicated product because it still has the medication in it. So yeah, I feel the same. Like with my kidney disease, my feet will swell up, and I'll take a hot bath, and I have Epsom salt that also has THC and CBD in it. And I feel like when I use that, my feet swelling is way more under control for longer. I'm not having to soak them every day like I used to. Like by the end of the day, they're swollen and they're no good. If I do the CBD and THC once or twice a week, I have these oils I put into like the foot bath, and then I have bath salts. And I put them in there, and I'm good to go, and it helps me for a few days. I don't have to do it again. And I've noticed the more I do it, the longer in between the next session of me having to do it. So yeah. So at this point, I want to go back to your acting and your businesses. Where can people find these businesses at? And after you answer that, I want to go kind of in order. I know you mentioned all the things like you were involved in, but is there any particular thing you really want to shine light on or talk about your experience in, or like how it is you got, like if I wanted to do this or like my daughter wanted to do this, how would we start?
I want to say that, like, I just started out of my backpack. I just wanted to do it. I went on YouTube. Everything that I do is self-taught. I didn't go to school for anything. It's all from experience, being on different sets, working with different people, working, picking up tips of the trade as I go. And Google can be your best friend. But when I first started, I Googled it. How do you start your own podcast? And I bought myself a mini recording studio, put it in my backpack, bought me a laptop, and I was pulling up on people's sets, pulling up on their video sets, pulling up on, at their business.
Yeah, wherever you're at, I'm coming.
I'm coming, yeah.
I like that.
Podcast. And I don't know. I started meeting some wonderful people. I started making some great connects, and those connects started putting me in different positions.
Word of mouth, let me tell you, that is so amazing, because word of mouth has put me in a lot of positions as well. Just getting like different interviews, having people refer people to me, that has literally been, one of my life saviors, I definitely will say. Because when I first started with cannabis, I didn't know all these bigger influencers or, who's who in the business. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do as well.
Yeah, like I didn't have any connects or anything. Everything that I do is strictly off of passion. I just really want to put my own content. I want to put my views, my opinions, my stories, my ideas out there.
Yes, and that's what really attracted me to you, is the whole self-made thing, not having somebody pushing everything for you. Like, you're literally out here independently doing everything from A to Z, and that's kind of like what I'm out here doing too. So that's kind of why I was like, you know what, I really like what her and what she's doing and what she's about. I definitely want to bring her on the show, whether she's a full-blown cannabis user or not, because I feel like the amount of work and dedication that you put into your stuff, I really relate to, being self-made myself, and pretty much a similar situation. I had some electronics, I pulled it all together, decided this is what I'm going to do, and I've been going at it since.
Right. Yeah.
No connects, no nothing, just a dream trying to make it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just off of chasing my dreams and being true to myself, and having a good character. That carries you a long way too. Your reputation, that carries you a long way. So people gotta mind that too. You can't come in this industry being nasty, um, feeling entitled and stuff. You got to make connections and build bonds.
Yes. So, do you have like how do you get your auditions? Do you just how do you know where to go to audition? Really is the question. Like, is there a website? Is there a platform where people who are looking to do like local movies or participate? How do we know what people are doing to participate before they do it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you haven't launched
Well,
this
it's
show.
actually certain groups on Facebook, on social media that you can join that to tell you about different auditions and stuff like that. But once again, for me, it was always word of mouth. Somebody referring me to somebody to do it. I was, lucky enough to always been referred word of mouth. But
And that
as I
speaks
got
highly
more
on your
into
work
it,
when you come in as a reference versus in the file of everybody else who's in line. Like, they've recommended you that you're already
I mean, I
qualified.
still had to audition.
Oh no, you still. I'm not saying that you still do, yeah. But it gives you like it's a good thing knowing that obviously someone's vouching for your work. So like when you're coming in through to those auditions, you're like on a referral base, which is really good, is what I'm saying. Like the work that it's speaking volumes on your previous work.
Right, right, right. I think
Like,
I've gotten pretty good. I'm currently right now working on a series called Finesse. Um, so I've made it to season 2. So I'm in season 1. I'll be in season 2 of that. Hopefully that'll be out before July.
and
Um,
what is finesse about? It kind of the title itself gives me the idea that we're finessing someone or someone's getting finessed. But what is what is that about?
um, it's really about, oh goodness. Okay, so it's about a guy who made one wrong move that trick you down and start off a hectic turn of events. And
Okay.
he's in the club being disrespectful to his girlfriend, hitting on other women, um, start a fight in the club, which starts an altercation, which starts with somebody getting hurt, and then it was basically tit from tat after that, with 3 or 4 people ended up dying, including a child. Um,
Ooh.
which turns the mother into a vengeful, scorn assassin, basically, because she ready to take out everybody who then killed her child.
That sounds like a really good. That I would assume it's a series, correct?
It's a series, yeah.
Yes, I definitely would like to watch that. Because I could only imagine if somebody had killed my child, how I would feel. And I definitely think revenge would be the first thing on my mind.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. And it would be very hard, very, very
Oh
hard
yeah.
to not
Everybody
act
suffered
through
today.
with those thoughts that we have.
Yeah. Everybody would have to pay.
Yes, and definitely it would be a finesse tip because I gotta make it look like I didn't do it. I'm interested. I like where this is going for sure. So it seems like you're very creative. You have all these skills that you're utilizing. I just want to give you, an applaud. Like it seems like you're really amazing and you got a lot going on. You're following through with it all, and that's the even more amazing part is that every day you just keep getting up and moving forward.
Yeah, I got to, because it's not it's not just a hobby for me. It's a real passion, and I just feel like this is how I can get my work, my voice out through content, my voice out through acting, my voice through creating, the content that I create, and also giving other people a platform to get their voice out. Also,
See, I like that. And I like that you're doing a lot within your own community and you're doing all these events, you're dealing with the children. You've got a lot going on. It seems like you're giving back to the community at the same time.
oh, definitely, definitely. I used to be the youth coordinator at my church, but it was too much. It was just too much. I had to step down. Um, Trying to hold that title and chase my dreams, I wasn't being fair to the children. But yeah, I try to as much as I can. I try to as much as I can.
I like that though. I mean, honestly though, you can't always volunteer and chase your dreams. It's really hard to dedicate your time across the map to volunteer services, and anything within the church is not a paid gig, and we still have bills to pay and dreams to follow. And as much as we like to stay active in the church and we do go, or however that works, there are times that, people have to realize, okay, I'm doing too much for this, that, or the third. I have to step down and give myself back to myself now.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and it's not even about the time. It's just that I just felt I wasn't being fair to the children, and they deserve somebody who can give them more attention that I could right now, because right now I'm kind of in the selfish mode, trying to get as much content together before I relaunch this channel.
And I like that. That's amazing that you were able to identify that. You seem like you've got a really good head on your shoulder as well.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm pretty level-headed. I'm very laid back, very compassionate, very understanding. I want everybody to win type of mentality.
So, I like that, by the way. Are you taking any auditions? So, if anybody is interested, are you looking for people for roles? Are you looking for people to come on any of your podcast shows? If you want to talk to the audience for a moment and kind of like give them a list of what it is you're looking and where they can find you type of thing, I would love to help other people, get more involved with what you have going on and help you fulfill anything that you need fulfilled.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I currently have a podcast at Big Daddy Games every Tuesday. Every other Tuesday from 8 to 10, where we do live music reviews, interviews. We have live performances in front of a live audience. And it's filmed live on my YouTube channel, Whose Word Is This Network.
Okay.
And on my Facebook page, and my group page, Whose Word Is This Network.
I definitely have two referrals. Shouts out to OT Rel and Ace Solo. Those are two people. I've done some shows that are local artists in Detroit that are pretty big that you might be interested in having on, that I could hook you up with. They've been on my shows in the past, and they're always looking for new things to do.
Okay, well, yeah, send them my way. I think I might know Ace Solo. But, yeah, send him my way.
Yeah, Dre.
Yep, I know Ace Solo.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for like probably 18 years about now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows me. He knows Desirae.
For sure. That's probably how I came across your page. And any other roles or any other, positions that you're looking for people to fulfill or come on, or shows that you have openings on?
Follow me on my Instagram, and you can see all the different shows that I have, which is Whose, WHOSE _word is this. And that's Whose _word is this.
Perfect. And I'll include that in the bio if you send that link over to me. Any links that you send, I'll include. So anything that we talked about over here, everybody can find in the bio at the end. There'll be links for each one's.
Yeah, because we have interview dates for Catch Up News that we're starting to refilm now. I'm about to start putting out an audition list for a couple of projects I'm working on. So just follow my Instagram page, or you can go to the website, which is also whosewordisthis.com. And that information can be on there also.
All right. So who's been your support system through all of this?
My family. I have a great support system with my family. My mom, she's like my biggest cheerleader. She supports everything. I wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for her, because she started the publishing company, Huntress Publishing, that we have the 2 books under right now. And she started us doing this. And when we wrote the books, we didn't have any connect. We didn't know how to network it. We just knew we wanted to write books, but we didn't know how to put it out there. And that's kind of how I started the podcast. Because me trying to network and, get the book out here, get people to buy the book, I started meeting people. And people were saying that at the time I had a contagious personality and I was very, very nice. And they loved talking to me. And maybe I should start a podcast and to start networking, to meet more people, and also promote the publishing company and the books. And I said, you know what, that's a good idea. And that's kind of how I started Whose Word Is This? And I always said that when I started this podcast, it would be a podcast that would allow people, it would be their first platform. So it won't be so hard for them to get out here and network and try to get exposure for their products and things like that. So my first couple of years with Whose Word Is This, I really, really focused on small businesses, local artists, up and coming filmmakers, things like that. So.
Well, I'm amazed at all the things you do, and I'm really glad that you have a good support system. If your mother was listening and your family who supports you, what would you say to thank them?
I tell them every day, thank you. Thank you. Because I know many people don't have the support that I have, when it comes to their family, like I do. They might not be at every show, they might not, but if I need help for something, I need them to proofread something. When it comes to the work aspect of it, they'll jump in to help.
That's amazing. I love that that's a good family and support, because that is hard. Like, I come from a large family, and we got a lot of tuffles. Not everybody speaks to everybody. It'd be like that. So I'm really amazed that you know how everything you've done. I love it all. So in the future, I definitely want to have you back on. Anytime you're launching something new, feel free to come on over here and tell everybody. And I definitely would love to send people more your way. And I have a few questions about publishing. Maybe we could talk about off air about this book I've been writing. I'm definitely interested in trying to get it launched. And I'm at the part where you were when you first started, where I'm lost. I know the whole podcast ordeal because I do that, but I just don't know how to publish this book the right way or the best way. So okay. I'm kind of stuck on it, and it's not fully done yet, but I'm still stuck because it's like, if I can't get it published, what am I really doing?
Oh, you can get it published, and when I tell you how you're going to get published, you'll be like, oh my God, are you serious?
Right? I've been looking through some apps, but I'm like, I don't know which ones are scammy or real, and I don't want to go the wrong route and lose.
You don't even have to.
See, right. So I definitely want to link up with you and continue to learn off each other, perhaps, and continue to update the audience on everything you're doing and allow them to, work with you. You seem very easy to work with, like, and outgoing and well knowledgeable and got a good head. I like everything about you. You seem amazing.
Thank you. And yeah, feel free. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to tell you how you can get that book published. Because we started off the wrong way too, trying to go through a publishing company, trying to pay all of the. Oh my God, they cost us like almost.
Right, and I'm just not ready to go down that rabbit hole quite yet. So I just wanted to find somebody who really knows what they're doing and maybe get some guidance or a coach.
Yeah. And then after that second time, I said, oh yeah, we're not doing that.
You're like, we know better now. That rabbit hole is over.
And then our book was 617 pages. So you can just imagine, yes. Oh my God.
Trying to redo or refix or republish or anything is just a lot of work with that many pages and words.
So the second one, we definitely shortened it up, and we found out. I'll give you the tips that you need to do to get that book published without breaking your pockets.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Desirae. You've been amazing to have on, and I look forward to our updates. And everyone, thank you for joining the 420 Smoke Room. I'll talk to you guys all later.
All right, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Hello?
Hello?